Chris, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we've changed up the topics for today because we want to get back to the Baker Mayfield comments about Daniel Jones. And I actually have been sent a chunk of the actual story. We talked at the end of the show about how in the world Baker Mayfield found himself in a position to throw shade at Daniel Jones. And what he said about Daniel Jones is, I can't believe the Giants took him, and it blows my mind. Some people overthink it. That's where people go wrong. They forget you've got to win. And he also said that identifying the great characteristics of a quarterback is a simple process. Either you have a history of winning and being that guy for your team, or you don't. So that's his criticism of Daniel Jones. But Chris, here's how it's set up. I'm going to read to you the line before the first quote from Baker Mayfield about Daniel Jones. This is from whoever wrote the article. Near our booth, a SportsCenter segment about the New York Giants catches Mayfield's eye. And then he says what he said. I mean, prime example, Mayfield probably doesn't know this is the interview.
Yes. It
We're
sounds
just
like
hanging
it.
out and getting to know each other, right?
Right.
Having a smoothie or a cup of coffee or a ham sandwich, and hey, I can't believe they took that guy. I don't think Baker Mayfield knew that the recorder was on when he said what he said.
I mean, I don't think Jalen Ramsey knew what he said, thought it was being recorded either with the GQ. You know, GQ, it sounds like, comes there, they spend the day with the guy. And yes, guys in the NFL are accustomed to NFL beat writers and like that, where, yeah, at some point you just sit down and, okay, let's start the interview, right? And really, there's a little bit of a professionalism or an understanding that, before that we might say some things, but that's not the interview. I mean, and that's not going to be made public. This seems like that's never made clear, to where the player has to say at some point off the record, hey, this is off the record, right? I can't believe they drafted Daniel Jones. You believe that crap? I mean, so I am shocked that Baker Mayfield would say this, and I'm with you. I don't think he meant for it to be said or published publicly. I think this is something he said and thought he was just making an observation about sports, and he didn't want to make a stink about it. But now it's going to be a stink, and especially with, Daniel Jones playing good, it's kind of going to get thrown back into Baker's face, I'm sure, on social media and things today.
And this creates a dilemma for me because on one hand, I love the content, right? I'm not complaining that we have this thing that we can talk about. But on the other hand, I don't like it. I almost feel this is weird. And I want to make sure I articulate this the right way. I feel kind of a level of protection, like, hey, you non-football reporters, don't come make our players look bad.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what you're doing. You're setting them up for this. They're in their early 20s. They don't understand.
They're
they have
going
to say
down
off
GQ.
The record.
This is cool.
I'm going to be on the cover of GQ, and I'm going to be wearing all these clothes. And, oh wait, they're going to talk to me about football. Yeah, I'll talk about football. Oh wait, they're doing this long ass article where they have all these quotes where they make me look bad for saying these things that I didn't know were part of the interview. And I at some point I got to put it on the people around the player to warn them that this is a trap. But I think between what we've seen with Odell Beckham, what we've seen with Jalen Ramsey, and what we now see with Baker Mayfield, somebody got to be telling these guys you're walking into a trap. And it kind of pisses me off that these non-football writers can barnstorm in and draw all this stuff out of guys because they don't have to deal with them again.
Right.
It would be, if you never have to deal with that guy again, you can chew him up and spit him out and make him look bad. Not that I'm saying you should do that, but I think they have that benefit where they can worry about making the best story possible, those compelling quotes, because they don't have to have an ongoing relationship with those teams and with those players. And there's lines you don't cross. And I think you're crossing the line when you take those casual comments and use those against the players in the body of the story.
Yeah, it is. It's a little below the belt that way. I agree with you. The player is not expecting that. He's not. It's just against the kind of the unwritten rules of the situation. And added to the fact that more times than not with these type of stories too, they don't go through the team, right? So nobody there from the team is there to kind of watch over the proceedings to go, hey, he's not going to answer that. Or to butt in when Baker Mayfield does say that and he said, hey, that was off the record, right? You know that, right? There was none of that. That's what happens when you go through, guys' personal handlers or, his group around him, the managers, whatever it may be. This is the fine line you dance with. And, now Baker, he's going to have to deal with some of these questions this week.
And I don't know whether or not Baker Mayfield has a different marketing agent than football agent, But the football agent would be more likely to say, whoa. No, you got to be careful with this. I think the marketing agent isn't viewing it through that same prism.
Agreed.
The marketing agent's agenda is to make the guy as big as possible.
Marketable, right.
This makes the guy as big as possible. And even if you have to deal with a little complication from time to time because the guy said something unfortunate, you know what? He still said something that people are talking about. So you get a lot of weird relationships, you get some conflicts of interest, and ultimately you get guys smitten by the prospect of being on the cover of GQ.
Yeah.
And you know, the photo spread and everything that goes along with it. And I think they do let their guard down because they don't think of it as traditional sports media. But every year they get somebody. And every year it gives us something to talk about. So, hey, GQ, we don't mean anything by it. I mean, I guess, you know, we appreciate the fact that you're giving us something to talk about. We just don't like what you're doing to the NFL players because it does feel a little underhanded.
Yeah, we'd like GQ and their writers to be a little more transparent and to go, okay, we're starting the interview. Or before the day even begins, announce it. Hey, everything from here on out. Hey, nice to meet you, Baker. Everything from here on out is on the record and part of the article. Yeah, you got to make that some sort of statement, or the player is going to feel, you know, below the belt shot, lowballed, whatever it may be. And, you know, you made the point. These are young guys who, you know, we all think of them, oh, they're making money and they play football, so they are mature and they have all of, you know, life's answers already at this point. No. You know, Baker Mayfield's still a young man who's learning a lot on the fly and having a whole world thrusted upon him that he's never experienced before. I mean, even being the Heisman winner in Oklahoma, it ain't like this. It ain't like being the quarterback in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns. GQ wasn't coming to Oklahoma to talk to him. I can promise you that. It's a different stratosphere. And, yeah, it is kind of a cheap shot, it seems like, or at least how GQ's handling this, maybe not letting that be known.
All right, we got more things we could talk about today, but I'll tell you what, this is enough time for PFTOT. We want to avoid PFTOT. We got plenty more things to get to as the preseason continues to unfold. Chris, sources close to me tell me that you're actually off tomorrow, but you'll be back Thursday and Friday. I kind of like the Chris Simms on Friday approach, although I know that's like a religious thing for you. You can only have your 4 days per week.
Yeah, but, you know, hey, whatever we got to do for Big Cat. I mean, he's a big deal, so I got to reschedule my whole schedule because of Big Cat. Damn guy. I mean, gosh, I don't know what he's got going on, but, geez, I'm doing it for him.
All right, well, we'll have Big Cat tomorrow, although he doesn't do PFTOT.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Damn.
No. I shouldn't have said that because now you're going to try to not do it.
I'm not doing it Friday. The hell with you.
All right. Hey, buddy, have a great day. It was fun today. Everybody, check us out at ProFootballTalk.com. New Chris Simms on Button coming later today. A PFTPM with a Drew Brees interview. And plenty more. ProFootballTalk.com all day long. See you Wednesday.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.